Are y'all ready for some spoilers? Y'all finally ready for the real spoilers? Well, the next 7 upcoming videos are going to be the actual spoilers. So, yeah. The actual spoilers of this game. We got these packages. I think I'm just going to open them in order. And then I open the 2 boxes. And then, spoiler! There's a don't open ever box. Now, no, I won't tell you. We'll wait until we open that don't open ever box. Now, the one thing I will tell you is I try to save these, right here, and it's not because well, it's because there's a thing in Risk 22 10 AD called Devastated Regions, and this is just this isn't an actual rule. This is like a house rule. If you save these, you can use them to make devastated token areas. You know, just for house rules, you can make your own devastated token markers. Anyway, this one's supposed to be opened when the 9th minor city is put on the board, which are these. Which, if you watch my end game spoilers video, you know that at the end of the game, each player, if you win, you can put down a major city. If you lose but don't get eliminated, you can put down a minor city. So, what does this come with? What does it come with? Well, first of all, you always get a war progression card, which kind of is like a story card. So you kind of just read these war progression cards. It says here, it says, with cities come politics. Things aren't as easy as they once were. The world is changing, and as a result, the way the game starts is changing. So now the game changes. It starts in this pack are 20 draft cards that will be used to start all future games. There are also new scar cards to be used in future games. Second token says, from the War Progresses, says, place the stickers from the evolution cards onto the rule book in the matching boxes. So you got new rules. These new draft rules overwrite the previous starting rules. So now you have to draft a different way. Finally, take the event cards and shuffle them into or create the event deck. So now you have an event deck too. There's the War Progresses. This is a biohazard reference sticker onto the game board. It says put it on there now, but I'm not going to do that. If you control this territory at the end of your turn, remove 1 troop from it. So now you have biohazard territories, but not unpassable territories like in Risk 22. Here's some new rules. This is the evolution card about the draft. Lay out all draft and faction cards face up. If there are 3 players, use only the draft cards that have a 3 in the corner. Add 4. That would be these. That would be all these cards here. You have starting coin cards, starting placement cards, turn order cards. So these randomly shuffle to each, and starting troop cards. So you see there's 10 troops, 8 troops, and 6 troops. So some players are going to start better than others. And of course you got 1 through 3, 4, 5 turns. And of course you got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th placement. Of course you got 1 coin cards, 2 coin cards, and no coin cards. So these are randomly shuffled dealt to the different players. That's how that works. So that's now how you have to play the game. These cards are drafted by players before each game to determine each player's starting troops, starting coin cards, turn order, faction, and the order of choosing starting location. So now you've been playing as the same faction probably the whole time, maybe. But now you might be changing which faction because you can get to pick a faction. But like I said, I think you could be changing each turn anyway because that's part of the fun of the game is to switch factions during the game. Not be playing the same faction every time. All players roll to see who picks first, starting clockwise from the higher roller. Each player chooses a faction or a draft card of a type he hasn't already chosen. So a player that has a turn order card cannot take another turn order card, but may take a card of a different type. After each player has chosen a card, reverse the selection order, and each player now going counterclockwise chooses cards. First you roll, highest roll, then you go clockwise, then you go counterclockwise, and then back and forth, I believe. In a 4-player game, draft order would be player 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, of course, the same. 3, of course, 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, etc. So on and so forth. In order of starting placement, each player places his starting troops in HQ on a legal starting territory. Starting troops are determined by the starting troops card. The only illegal ones are putting in them on a city that you didn't put on the board, I think, is the only illegal ones. I also don't think you can put starting territories on scarred spots. I think that's a rule too. After all starting territories have been claimed, a player with the first turn order card takes the first turn. Player goes in order that turn order cards in which to change seats so that play moves clockwise. Now we of course have biohazard cards. There are 3 of these biohazard cards. The player that controls the territory will lose 1 troop from that territory at the end of his turn. So you have to, if one of these biohazard tokens get placed on the board, when they get placed and where they get placed, they make an area harder to take over and keep because, damn, my eyeball itching. Because when a territory has a biohazard territory on it, you lose your men are contaminated and they die. So you lose the thing. Now there are you got a start of an event deck here. You have 2 fortify, 2 control the people, a ride, and a resistance. See, fortify. Now, this one says, whoever has the largest population may either fortify one of his cities if there are still fortification marks left, or, so now you can bring out fortification marks faster with this card, or may select up to 2 cities he controls, add 2 troops to each of these cities. So when you make a event card come into play, which the way you make event cards come into play, shoot. Let me see. Event cards are shuffled together and placed on the noted card slot on the sideboard at the end of your turn. After you take either a territory or a coin card, if the newly revealed card in slot 1 has an even number of resources, an event occurs. Turn over the top card in the event deck and perform the action on the card, including where to put the card after resolving its effect. Discarded event cards go back in the box. If the event deck runs out mid-game, the event card discard pile is not reshuffled to create a new event deck. However, more event cards may come into play mid-game. Those cards would be shuffled together with any cards left in the event deck as the game continues. You do not trigger an event when laying out the initial territory cards at the start of the game. Note that some event cards will be related to population or other status counts. If there is ever a tie or a noted faction player is knocked out, eliminated, or not in the current game, the event does not occur. Note, as described at the end of the game section, players have control over how many odd and even territory cards are in the deck. You can directly control how often events are triggered in this world. So, this one says you destroy the card if the fortify option is chosen. Otherwise, discard it after it is played. So, you destroy the card, which means it gets ripped up, or you discard the card for fortify. Fortify. Now we have control the people. Control the people says destroying literally means you destroy it. It's gone. You throw it away. It's not even part of the game anymore. Discard means it goes into the box. And in the next game, it goes with the events. Whoever has the largest population either gains 5 troops in one city he controls. So I guess girls can't play it because it says he. No, he is generic here. It means he or she. I hate when they use he is generic or she is generic. I think they should just write they. Makes more sense to me. Or he may make an immediate maneuver. So basically it's a gain 5 troops. Unless you don't own a city. You don't control a city, then it's pretty hard to gain 5 troops. I'd make an exception to rule that if there's a city on the board that isn't owned, you could automatically take it over with those 5 troops. That would be a potential exception to the rule. I think, anyway. Right? Riots. Next up is riots. There's only one riot card. So, riots! Riots! Oh, there's riots in streets. Every player who can... Black Lives Matter rised up. Or maybe the Republicans got mad and rioted. Like they did with the Capitol. Haha! Diss both. Now, it's not 100% certain that everybody who rioted at the Capitol was MAGA and Republican. And it's not 100% certain that everybody that rioted at the Summer of Love were BLM. Okay, disclaimer alert. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. Wang. Even though I'm telling the truth. Yeah, what did I say? Anyway, every player who controls a major city must roll a die, adding 1 to the roll for each troop and HQ in that territory. If your modified roll is lower than 6, remove troops equal to your natural die roll and demolish any HQs in that territory. So, you could lose an HQ. I mean, if you control a major city, you could lose an HQ. You could lose your headquarters, which counts as a red star. So that's one way to, make less red stars. But I don't think that's enough. Personally, I don't think that's enough. I still think you should try to make more red stars. And maybe now that you can lose your HQ, maybe there should be a way to buy a HQ back. Just saying. Then we have resistance. Resistance is futile. Oh no, the Borg are in here. All minor cities containing 1 or 2 troops lose a troop. That's very harmful because that's all minor cities. Now you could make it even more harmful and say all cities, scratch out minor and just say cities. But there's 2 of those. So that was the open when all 9 minor cities have been founded. Funded? Well, they have to be founded before they can be funded. Yeah. It's a joke. I'm going to put those back in. And then I'm putting it in a bag because, you know, I like to bag everything. Besides, I'm not playing the game yet, so we're just pulling it. And I played the game before already, anyway. And that's it. I mean, there's not much more to say about that. We're going to do more spoilers. Y'all stay tuned. So that's the first major spoiler video we did. I mean, in this spoiler series of Risk Legacy. Anyway, remember, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Keep on gaming. Keep on collecting. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Legacy on. Risk on. Game on. Collect on. Spoil on. And have a great one for today. That water's good.